Good evening, everybody. It's Sunday, SFMF Live. It's been a week. Happy Sunday. I hope your week went well. We will be on next Wednesday, right? We're doing that every other Wednesday again. And yes, it seems like I say this all the time, but we're still traveling, but we're still making it happen. You see, we're in a studio now. We put it together, made it happen. It's been a week. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, you've had some time to spend with God today. If you haven't, there's still time. As me, my girls went with their friends to church, so they left me all alone. I'm going to watch it online as soon as we're done here. So, good evening. Yes. Sound, sound check, mic check. Yeah. Can we get a sound check and mic check? Can you put it up there so I can see who is here? Is it? Are we going? Are we live? 5 by 5. Somebody, give me a 5 by 5. Good evening. SFMF Live. Been doing a lot of shorts. Those of you that watch the shorts, some great feedback from the shorts. The one today was great. The salty dog, right? And it reminded me of, I remember a short period of time in my career when I was a corporal where that was the thing. And I don't know if it was that year, if it was just that time, the faded camis was cool. If you had on faded camis, that means you're salty. Didn't matter how long you've been in. What do you? It didn't even matter what rank you were. If you had faded camis, that was the cool. That was the in thing. And I wanted faded camis just like everyone else. So you you got to wash them over and over. And granted, we're in the field a lot, but like I learned at boot camp to change where you camis for a couple of days, wash them, switch them out, rotate them, wash your cover with your cami so it fades the same. But I specifically remember I would always want to wear my most faded camis. That was cool. That meant you're salty. And I'm trying to remember after I did that short and saw the feedback on it, what point in my career did I realize, man, that was a S bird time in my career. I had a low rag, I had a big old mop on top of my head. I even had a mustache that was out of regs. I'll say it. It was out of regulations because a regulation mustache looks pretty silly. But that was again, that was I don't know if it was that time or if it was just that time for me. I was a bird, right? I was that fake salty. As a corporal, I've been in 3, 4 years. I don't remember 2 or 3. Um, but it's very important to me to have faded camis like everyone else because I wanted to be salty. That's not what being a salty Marine is. And again, a lot of great comments. Being salty is meaning you got some time in grade, time in service. You've been there, you've done that. You know a little bit about everything, and you're the good kind of salty, right? And when you see them white faded camis, the joke. Let me shake some of the salt off my camis onto your food. You need some salt? I got some right here, and that was cool. But then I'm trying to remember again. At what point in my career did I realize, man, what a bird I was looking like that? Because I had other camis. I had ones that weren't as faded. And then fast forward, I remember again as a staff NCO, maybe after the drill field, where my wife would tell me all the time, turn your clothes inside out so they don't fade as much. Well, I wasn't doing that with my camis because I wanted them to fade because I wanted to be cool. But then again, as a staff NCO, I made sure I turned them inside out. I didn't want them to fade. I wanted them to look as new as possible for as long as possible. Because once they start to fade, you got to buy a new one. You got to buy new camis. And I didn't want that either. Trying to save money. So just again, interesting to me. Does that make you a bad Marine if you have faded camis, low regulation? No, absolutely not. But you also have to think, are you going to get selected to go for a meritorious promotion board? Right? If that leader pictured you, he said, okay, I need a name for a meritorious corporal, meritorious sergeant. He's going to think about that hard worker, man, but will he pass the board? how will he how will he do in front of a board of sergeants, major, and master gunnery sergeants and the battalion commander? How's he going to look in them faded camis, the cover that doesn't match his camis, his low regulation? If he has a mustache, how's that going to look on the board? So yes, those things are important as well. Someone put a low regulation is still regulation. What the problem is, again, that's your image that you are portraying, right? Okay, got this meritorious promotion, or I got this school, I got something awesome. I need to pick a Marine. And that dude works hard, but always looks nasty in his camis. Hmm. Just got to think about it. What's the big picture, the overall picture that you want to present? The first impression. All right. Um, Good evening, everybody. Where are you from? What are you drinking? Let's take a little roll call. Who we missing? I know we're just getting started, but where's everyone at? Doc, I saw Carrie Ann Marie Potts, David Bryant. All right. What do you think about opening with the Warrior song Hardcore by Sean Householder? I I don't know if I know it offhand, but somebody just sent me one. So is it a rap, a white dude? And it was pretty good if it's the one I'm thinking of. I don't remember. I don't remember offhand. Got a MAGA cover on. Is that the song? Hot Rod, Modelo Time. What's up, Hot Rod? Good to see you. Edward. Uh, Watching from the UK till I go to Canada. Carrie Ann Marie Potts. Good to see you. Hard Rock. What are you drinking? I'm drinking coffee. I always drink coffee on the show. Drink coffee kind of quite a bit, actually, every day. Uh, um, Coffee. And yes, fufu, fufu coffee. I put creamer in it. No sugar, but I do put creamer in it. And the other day, I don't know what got in my head. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go just black coffee. People do it. How why not? I'm adding the creamer for taste, but that's still sugar, right? It's still sweet. And I was gonna try and go all natural. And I did for about a week. But back to creamer. Birdman, doing well. How are you, Birdman? Where you at? What? What did you just? You're getting ready to go somewhere? Get orders, get promoted? 29 Palms. Re- Bring us back up to speed. Birdman is our new Marine here. Hi from Maryland. Huge hi from Maryland. Jordan Hammond is here. Good evening. I'm here for the motivation report for duty, sir. All right. Black coffee, carry on Marine Pots. Again, I did. I did it for about a week, and I bought some cheap coffee, but it was very good. It was coconut flavored coffee, the Walmart brand, and it was very good. I liked it again for about a week, and then I'm back to the creamer. In my day, salty meant too much time in grade. That's another good point, David. If you are salty, why are you a salty Lance Corporal? Because you've been a Lance Corporal for a very long time. And why are you in that at that one rank for so long? So salty can mean a lot of different things. And even when I did the short, I was like, man, salty means like angry. Oh, I didn't see that. Stacking. Sorry, Stack is here. Thanks, brother. I see it on a computer, but I can't see it on the screen. What was the message? Anyway, so salty means, oh, look at that dude salty. Like in the civilian community, that means you got a little attitude or something. Not what we're talking about here. The salty dogs are the one. Oh, look at that Marine, man. He knows all about all that stuff. We're in the field. He can make coffee out of nothing. He knows how to set up all the tents and the generator and works the row poof so we can get some fresh water. Salty, right? He's been around, has done all that. Combat, the one combat patrols, always wants to be point man. He's salty. Those are good salties. When I was talking about, again, I wanted to be salty before I actually was. And I don't think I'm the only one because, again, Marines were washing their camis over and over. always wearing the most faded ones, and because they're the most comfortable. And these are my field camis, right? There's no such thing as all that. Look sharp and act sharp. Again, does it make you a bad Marine? No, absolutely not. But you want that impression, that initial impression, to be all that. Yeah, bro. All right. Thank you, Stacking. Gifted 5 memberships. That's awesome. And I think we can see now one of the updates in YouTube. If somebody gets a membership, it says who it's from, right? Didn't that happen last time? Maybe something like that. We were able to see. All right, USMC Walking Tall as order. What's up, Walking Tall? Good to see you. All right. My brother was a 50 cal machine gunner on the Humvee. Gets no better than that. You're also a big target, but that's pretty awesome. Had a great gunner. Walker was his name. Big, tall, skinny, white dude from California. Was the best 50 cal gunner in the gun in the Humvee. One of our firefights in Iraq, and it was like instant. We pulled up to an intersection, heard a couple pops, pop, 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 and all of a sudden, nothing but 50 cal round. Toot, 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 toot. He's all of it. He's like 3 o'clock, enemy, all cool about it. My driver was like kind of, it's like, oh, bro, move somewhere, get out of the impact zone. Walker said, don't worry about it. I got toot, 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 toot. No jams, nothing. All right. As MP, your camis always had to look new. Anything else was unacceptable. Boom. David Bryant right there. Um, what's up, Randall Knapp? Good to see you. So again, it's that initial impression that you're going, because here's how you look at it. Do you see master guns, sergeants major, colonels, generals? Do you see senior staff NCOs in those faded A camis? No, because it's unprofessional at some point. In the field, right? In combat, do what you got to do, wear what you got to wear within regulations. But that's where it starts. It's all about discipline. Back to leadership and discipline. Air wingers, right? They wear camis. Someone said we wore camis like it was like a dress uniform because they're in coveralls all the time. So their camis were. Remember when I was at the Staff NCO Academy, the air wingers the students that came, their camis were brand new. Bro, you bought new camis to come here? It's like, no, I'm in the air wing. We never wear camis. So they literally were brand new. That's right, Birdman, going to Camp Wilson. That's right. We were talking about the head facility there. Don't forget, be ready. Uh, all right. Leg 83. Everyone looked at me like I was trash, but I was the only one who pressed my uniform and shined my boots. Someone else had a great comment about how it was back then. Again, back then we did have to shine our boots, shine our brass. He was an old Teens guy, even pressed out their belt, scrubbed it and pressed it out, the web belt. Uniform of Teens, so again, so they're all green, but I've seen some highly starched Teens before too. And that's what I grew up in. You pressed your camis, you shine your boots all the night before for the next day. And again, when you're in garrison, if you're in a school, if you're going to a meeting, this should be your most squared away working uniform. I was at the Air Force NCO Academy in class all day long in camis. Everyone was in camis. I was the only Marine there, sitting in nice, comfortable chairs. The Air Force. So the classroom was nice, AC. This is in Okinawa. We had the lumbar chairs, just saying living large. Fell asleep a couple of times. At lunch, we would go. You do whatever you want. You get like 2 hours of lunch. I would eat, then go to my room, press out my blouse because I had been sitting on it all day and the back was all wrinkled up. One day I was coming out, gathering back up to go back to class, and some of the airmen were like, "Oh, what'd you do? Why is your blouse so squared away? Did you iron it?" Like, yeah, we've been sitting on it all day. It's all wrinkled up. It's wrinkled right here where you sit. He's like, um, where'd you get an ironing board? Well, and an iron. It was in the room. It was provided. But it was that again, that appearance that you always want to uh, uphold, right? Marines are different. All right. All right. Randall Net. I wore camis for years, and I was rightly accused of by Lance Corporal having salty girder cover. That's when I knew I needed to wear a newer one. JTB's here, 1046, engineers up. So the girder cover and just the cover in general, and I did a short on it over a year ago, maintaining your camis, your uniform, purchasing on what to look for when you buy it, and then how to wash it. Make sure you wash your cami cover with your cami so it fades the same. Too many people don't because you put all that time and effort, you starch it, you Irish pennant it, stands up nice, it looks great. You don't want to wash it once a week like you're washing the rest of your camis because you got to do all that over again. But you got to because pretty soon your camis are a little bit faded, but your cover's not. That's when you look, that looks pretty silly as well. Old Jyrene, good to see you, brother. Young Marines not pressing camis, clipping Irish pennants, shiny boots, and brass. Just leaves more time for lethality training. I like that. And that is kind of the concept behind it. There's more time in boot camp and in the fleet and prepping for the next day instead of because it was very much time consuming to do both press your camis and shine your boots. So what are you doing with that time now? Era PT. Something else to prepare for the next day because there is no shining. The boots are great, and the new camis are great. The Marpet uniform and the suede boots, awesome. Love everything about it. They have a crease in it already that will never go away. So it is. I like that, and it costs a lot of money, right? Irons, starch, shoe polish, right? All that stuff costs money. So it not only save Marines money, save Marines time. So great change. Another great change is good, man. Change is good. If it is good, it's don't change just for no reason, but that was a very positive change. Doc Holiday, good to see you, brother. Happy Sunday to you. Uh, I don't know, Block Boy, will they have another draft? Nah. All right. That's what you did on Sunday. Recover from a hangover, go to Oceanside for a haircut, press uniform, shine boots, get ready for the week. That was your Sunday routine. Absolutely. All while you're watching football, if it's football season or whatever else you got going on that day. But that's how you spent Sunday. And I'm I'm not mad at all that I learned how to iron in boot camp because uh, anybody in the family needs something ironed, I'm gonna do it because I get some like quality peacetime, and I still every now and then I would still iron that blouse a little bit or the sleeves as you rolled them. So still learning. Get some hot rod. San Clemente for a haircut. Happy one old Irene is here. Me too, David. That means that there's someone here older than me. What about Jared? Where's Jared? Haven't seen him. Who else are we missing? Uh, Famicom Mike. I'm in the Navy, but love running into Marines. Good group of guys. Semper Fi shipmate, and we're glad you're here. You got to keep us honest when I talk about Navy stuff. So appreciate you being here. Uh, old Jareen. I'm not going to predict anything on the strikes, but I've been watching it, caught up, and I didn't even know what happened. My niece called and said, "What do you think?" So I'm still catching up on all of it. Jared, I'm here for a little while, but can't stay. What do you say? Gunny Rock, Colimas, if you know, you know. Was about to be Jared. Yep. I was wondering where he was. What's up, Guns? Good to see you. I know, Jared. We're going to have to see. Brock Rentpro says, should I wait to go to MEPS until jobs refresh or before? Do jobs refresh? We got some, who's our recruiter? Do jobs refresh? I got to believe this time of year is tough because it's summer. All the high school students, all the high school graduates, congratulations to all them. But this is the time that they're taking up all those jobs and those boat spaces. So you got to get on it. Hey, Cookie. Good evening, brother. Good to see you. and welcome back. How was your trip? Jealous. I can't wait. Can't wait to spend some time over there. I suggest carrying a gun everywhere you go. I carry three. Carry two wherever I go. You know that. Yes. It never gets old. All right, Brent. So Major's a bit older and Jared is a touch younger. Maybe. Why did you go first on instead of Master Sergeant? Eric S. Great question. And I was thinking of a good Master Guns story, and I'll get back to it, Eric. I will answer that. And this was I had a Master Guns. We are in was it Hawaii? Is that yeah, Marine Corps base. And all of a sudden I heard something outside my window. I'm at my desk doing my sergeant major duties, and this dude is going off on a Marine for nothing other than walking on the grass. Right. And we go, "That's Sergeant Major, get off the grass, get off my grass." And this is what the how the butt chewing went. The Master Guns asked him, right, "Are you allowed to walk on the grass?" He said, "No." He said, "Why'd you do it?" He's like, "Oh, it was just real quick. I was in a hurry. It wasn't long. It was just two steps." He had all these excuses. He said, "Really? So you know the rules. You specifically didn't follow them because you were in a hurry. That's minor, right?" And the Marine's like, "Yes, Master Guns." He said, "That's minor. But what could that amount to later on in life? Today it's walking on the grass. Tomorrow it's stealing, drugs, alcohol, whatever." A little bit extreme, but it wasn't it's not because he walked on the grass. I didn't give a damn about the grass. And I never had really cared about the grass. You're not going to kill it by walking across it, cutting a corner one time. It's the rules and regulations. It's doing the right thing. It's the discipline side of it. So back to Eric's question. Why did I choose first sergeant and not master sergeant? I was a combat engineer, era backbone of the Corps, 1371 with JTB, and I enjoyed it. I did. I liked it. You blow stuff up, you build bridges, you build bunkers, again, a lot of C4, dynamite, TNT. It was exciting. Loved it. Loved on base side, loved on in the division side. I was a sapper, right? Went to mini sapper school, learned all the ins and outs, making donut charges, blowing up doors. It's exciting. Desert Storm, all kinds of stuff. But once I knew I was going to stay Marine forever, I didn't want to be stuck with one job forever, is how I looked at it. I wanted to be have the freedom of a first sergeant, 99.99 back then, to go to different units, which I did. I was in every other unit besides a combat engineer unit. I kind of did as a first sergeant or sergeant major later on, wanted to be in an engineer battalion, but not as much as I wanted to stay in the infantry. So I wanted to have that freedom. And I did. As a first sergeant, I was in a motor team maintenance company in 2-5. Sergeant major was in the air wing, back to the infantry 3-3. So I was able to bounce around. I get bored easy, and I don't want to be stuck. I get bored easy, and I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. And I wasn't that great of a 71 either. I wasn't that great of an engineer. Where's Lay Cookie? You can ask him. He covered my back often. I went to the obviously the basic school, then engineer NCO school, and then even engineer uh, advanced course, engineer chief's course. So I went to all the schools and I learned all the stuff. I just again wasn't the best combat engineer. I definitely like the destruction part, but the construction and the math and the building did not so much. All right, Eric. Yes, yes. Thanks for the question, and I hope that does help. If you're awesome at your job and you love it, then absolutely Master Sergeant is the way to go because you are the duty expert. You got to know everything about that MOS, be able to advise everybody, to include the commander, your Marines underneath you. You have to know it all. You got to. And you're still a Marine, just like that Master Guns, disciplining that Marine for walking on the grass. You're all around. Master Sergeant, Master Gunner Sergeant is all around. All right. They cook. I was going to say that you want me to tell you. I was going to say you want me to tell you Why you went Sergeant Major? Why can't I read that? No, no, no. Just tell them what kind of engineer I was. No, in fact, never mind. Don't. Uh, thank you. It's a once in an opportunity situation. What's 5812? I missed part of that conversation. It's a great one. Make the best of it while you're there too. What other short was I gonna the boot one. It was pretty funny. I was in the gym and I heard these two Marines talking, and one of them said just that, "What's up, boot?" He's like, "Boot, I outrank you." He got all butthurt about it. I got promoted before you by 2 months. I was thinking, what a funny conversation. They're both sergeants. Turned out to be both sergeants, and one was boot to the other one because the other one got promoted first. That's all it really is. But it's a term of endearment, right? To a certain degree, and you always boot to someone. I'm telling you, and I kind of quoted a meme I saw, and it showed armor. It showed a sword, armor, probably even a head sealed thing, and it said, "Unless this was your battle rattle, you're boot to somebody, and you always will be boot to somebody." JT says one of the recruits' favorite things was listening to the eye Sergeant Bryant, not to be able to read a single name correct. He also blended three of us recruits, myself, two other blonde and blue eye recruits. Sergeant Bryant was a classic drill instructor. He was an awesome heavy. He was good. He was loud, but yeah, he couldn't say names. He couldn't remember names. He couldn't pronounce them. He was, he was funny. Way better leader than engineer for sure. Lay Cookie. That was a very polite way of saying I sucked as an engineer. Thank you, though. That nails it right there. That's good. Silly boots, right? Tell him, Rod. Boot. Gunny Rod's a boot. He thought her name was Barsky. Black Diamond. Marines. Era. We like having Army here. With Navy, have a new Navy. You subscribed, right? Love having all the other services here. And there is a lot of Army. I think it's probably the second highest. Uh, Cave Diver, good to see you. Good evening, SFMF. I'm graduating motor team mechanic school tomorrow morning, and I was wondering what are some things to expect when you first hit the fleet. Maybe tips on how to have a good start. That is a great question. And I'll tell you this, and this happens far too often. Don't judge the entire Marine Corps off that first duty station, unless it's a good one. But know that there's more out there. There's more leaders out there. If you have some great leaders, embrace that and learn as much as you can from them because they're leaving soon. And then you're leaving as well. If you have same with bad leaders, if you have some bad leadership, embrace that as well and learn from that what not to do when you get into leadership positions. But here's what I'll tell you: pick your friends wisely. Marines are awesome. Yeah, and in life too. The producer saying that's in life. Pick your friends wisely. A friend of mine used to say, and I hadn't heard this before him, but now I've heard it quite a bit. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. So if you got some dirtbag friends, you just might be a dirtbag as well. They're cool, they're funny, they do some crazy things, and you're going to be associated with them. You don't do the things they do because you know it's wrong, but you're going to be associated with them. So tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. So the hard part, being a young Marine getting in the fleet the first time, you're going to want to fit in. You're going to want to. You don't want to be oh look at the boot, kiss butt, looking squared away. Oh, what are you doing? Saving money. All the good things that you're supposed to be doing, you're going to get ridiculed for it because it's not cool. Look at your camis all squared away. You got fresh hind tight boot. Take it. Take it for a little while. Be the Marine that you want to be, right? Don't let them influence. Peer pressure sucks, man. It's tough. You have to. And that's how I was. I'm telling you, when I was a corporal, I went through that period of low reg, big mop on the top of my head, mustache out of regs, faded camis, right? I wanted my boots to get wore out because that meant I was salty. Terrible time in my career in the drill field is what saved me. Then I got orders finally to DI school. I was like, oh crap, I gotta clean my stuff up. And being on the drill field, that like regreened me. Era. And ever since then, that's when my appearance always mattered. That's when I always had a fresh shave. Never went a day without a shave. Shaved on the weekends, all that a little extreme on stuff, but that's what did it. That's what set me apart. So great question. And congratulations on graduating school and going to the fleet. Doc Hollis, Sergeant Major, which school or course challenged you the most, mentally or physically? Physically was McQuist. Easy answer. Marine Corps instructor of water survival was the most challenging. Second was Bridgeport, but McQuist. I'm a swimmer, surfer, been in the water my whole life. I'm a waterman, but McQuist kicked my butt, and it was 90s, early 90s, so it was still around. They were trying to kill me every day, and I saw some shallow water blackouts. I saw people quit. We started with like 60, graduated with like 22. It was just the attrition rate. The very first day, here's how we started the first day. We all showed up, checked in, stripped down into PT gear, did a run, swim, run. Ran 3 miles, swam 2,500 meters, ran 3 miles. That was the welcome aboard. And some were quitting during that, and then immediately after. That was first day. That was check-in day. It just the attrition every day. Someone else would just drop. And I did literally think I was going to die probably 4 or 5 times a day, mentally and physically. So that was both. That was the hardest school period. Again, mentally and physically. Another school was Bridgeport. Bridgeport as a unit was cool and hard and tough, but as the mountain leaders course in the summer and winter were very, very challenging. And they're physically challenging, which makes it mentally challenging because you want to quit, right? It's just, and you, especially when you see people leave, you're like, oh man, that dude, yeah, he's a punk for quitting, but he ain't got to do what we're getting ready to do. So it's both. What's one school you wish every Marine could attend, regardless of MOS? And I see John McJunkin is here. Hurrah. Great question. So does the DI team stay together your whole time as a drill instructor? No, at least in First Battalion. I was Bravo Company, First Battalion. We switched teams every single cycle. And there's not that many of you, so a couple of you served together throughout, but every cycle there's a new senior, maybe. Figure 6 companies, so 6 senior drill instructors. DIs leave, they mix it up. The rank has a little bit to do with it. You want a staff sergeant as a senior, so sergeants and staff sergeants can work for him. So no, it switches up, and I like that because it gives you, it's good for everybody. You don't get in like bad habits if you have the same team and do the same training every single time, because the recruits are different. So I want to believe all the battalions do it the same way. Kind of got to, again, because people are coming and going all throughout. So it's never, I don't know if I've served with, I did platoons with the same DIs a couple times with an additional DI, right? DIs are coming in too. So it's mixed up. Um, yes, hit the like button, double tap, double tap, double tap. Hot rods, got to head out. Stay frosty. SFMF. Hot rod, come on out. We'll see you soon. Stay motivated. Appreciate you being here. Uh, it's impressive. Oh, who's got an accent? Hello, JT. MCT was worse than boot camp as far as the physical stuff. So here's Jared. I think you're right. You went to MCT? That MCT? Maybe you are younger than me. Maybe you are. Uh, if you double tap the like, you cancel it out. Yeah, don't double tap it. Did I say double tap it? No, no, just but don't you double tap the likes? Don't quadruple tap it then. How about that? Just double tap it. Um, MCT, I've heard that before too. And here's the thing with physical fitness and boot camp, it's really not that much. You only run 3 miles twice, and that's the initial PFT and the final PFT. When I was a recruit, we did one 5 miler. I think they got rid of that. So you're not PTing as much as probably everyone thinks. You're being IT'd, incentive training. So you're getting thrashed quite a bit, but you're not going on long runs 5 days a week. You're PTing 5 days a week, but sometimes the PT is just to the McMap field, or just to Pugil sticks, or just to hits, just to the confidence course, the obstacle course. So there's physical training, but it's not like you imagine. You're going a 3 to 5 mile run, then you do some PT. So I believe that 100% that MCT physical fitness PT was a lot more. And now you're a Marine too, so they can kind of era you a little more. But it's not enough, right? I think they should add more drill and add more PT to boot camp. Went to MCT late in '91. How'd you find the Carrie Ann Marie Potts as a good one? And then John McDuncan, I want to get back to that. How was the gas chamber? Yeah, gas chamber was great. Scared like everyone else. And it's the confidence chamber is the real name for it. And that's to build your confidence in your equipment to know that you can fight in an environment like that, right? NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. You can fight with that gas mask on. That's why they have you do jumping jacks. You're moving around, you're doing push-ups. You even have to take it off at one point, yell platoon number, your drill instructor's name, and some motivation, put it back on and clear it yourself. Confidence chamber. uh, yes, you're going to snot out your nose and it's going to itch your skin. It's going to burn and it's miserable, but it builds confidence in your equipment. So you know how to use it properly so you can, again, fight in that posture, if you will. I loved it as a drill instructor. I would take my camcorder in there. And this was back in Jared's time when the camcorders were like this big on your shoulder. And I would record the recruits freaking out. Because initially, when it feels like you're going to die and you're going to choke and you can't breathe, and you're saying that I can't breathe, which literally means you can breathe because you're talking. But it's an initial shock. And then when they say, take that gas mask off, are you crazy? Take it off. And then you got to say something. And I remember in recruit training, I forgot to get a big breath. So when they said, all right, three, two, one, take them off. And they would go to you one at a time and say, what's your name? Your name and platoon. Private Cece, platoon 3082. I didn't have a big breath of air. So I got out like, Private Cece. He said, oh, you don't want to say your drill instructor? Come here, senior drill instructor. Now everybody's all on me. And he doesn't want to say, he's not motivated. Oh, he's your guide. Look at him. So I took a big deep breath of CS gas and tried again. I was choking and coughing. They kicked me out. And in San Diego at the time, it was like they planted a tree right outside the swinging door. So if you just bolted out of there, you're going to bolt out of the door would swing open, bam, right into the tree. And somebody usually had already done that. So now they're on the ground. So it's a big pileup. Then you can't, that was like a cartoon. Then nobody could get in or out. And everyone starts freaking out. But I did have to go back in because I never said my senior drill instructor's name. So I was a double award expert in the gas chamber as a recruit. And as a drill instructor, again, it's because we're confident that their gear works. And a funny thing would like to do to a couple of special recruits that I had right before they would go in, like they're the next 10 to go in, I'd be like, oh man, so with your gas mask. You have no filter. Nah, no, you'll be all right. Just hold your breath, go, 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 everybody go. So he's already freaking out before he went in. And those of you that don't know, it, the CS gas, obviously it's not good for you. It's not going to kill you, but it ate my camcorder. First, it ate the little thing over the microphone that disintegrated, and then it just stopped working altogether. I think maybe I took it in there too often. It's good comic relief. Hope I still have some of those tapes. It was good. Eric Lewis, my son starts recruiter school tomorrow. Very proud. Awesome. Did he volunteer? Did he volunteer for that? Another one I did on the DI was that a large percentage, and I don't know the numbers, a large percentage of drill instructors, it was the short about, is DI school hard? Yes, of course it's hard. But a large percentage of Marines that go to DI school volunteer. Someone said they volunteer. What happens if they don't volunteer for either one? Well, then you get picked up. So some DIs didn't volunteer for it, but most did. I remember in my class they asked show of hands, and I had a big class, like 130 drill instructors, and about 4 or 5 didn't volunteer for it. The rest did. Recruiters, not a lot of people. Oh, good. Eric Lewis says his son did volunteer. Those usually make the best recruiters as well. Sam Caceres. Good evening, Sergeant Major. What is your favorite MRE? Chicken a la king. Yes. I like them all. Oh no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Producer's right. Omelet with ham. But they stopped making that one. Omelet with ham was my very favorite. But and again, I'm not a good guy to ask. I like does it look like I skip a meal? I like all of them. I really do. There's some I would choose over others. I don't like the veggie omelet, I think there was, or the vegetarian one. There's some newer ones that are just a little weird for me, but I love the omelet with ham, and nobody else did. And I love the accessories that came with it. So again, I know there's probably not a whole lot of those. And my second was chicken a la king and chicken a la nasty. Jared, I love the chicken a la king. Those were two. That one didn't come with good accessories though. The omelet with ham did, and that's important too. In Desert Storm, here's how we start eating those after a while. I did this. We would cut the package in half and empty it all out. Now you would have a half of the MRE sleeve or package, and we just dumped everything in there. Every single thing that came in the MRE, to include the coffee, the creamer, the pepper, the hot sauce, and just mix that bit jelly, whatever cheese, whatever crackers you mash them up and put them in there. Just make like a goulash. Sometimes they're real good, and sometimes not so good. But it's just, man, eating MREs for months and months and months on end. We had to do something. Ooh, MRE sampling. Yeah, I brought some. Yeah, in about a month, we're gonna do some sample MREs. And here's the key to MREs. And I would always get lazy in the field, even when I had time. You got to heat them up, man. Heat them up. They are twice as good heated. Heat the cheese, melt the cheese, and put it over it. Any MRE cheese always makes it better. Now they have jalapeno cheese. Any other cheese? Peanut butter is good. They have chocolate peanut butter. I like them all. Motor T, we use the omelet as fix a flag. I'm telling you, nobody liked the omelet with ham. It came with that sharpening stone. It was a big rectangle bar, looked like a sharpening stone. It was like an oatmeal bar. It was delicious. So I loved it. That's what everyone called it. Is Mrs. Cece gonna come on camera and eat some? Yes, Carrie Ann Marie, tell her she needs to. John McGann says, I don't know why the DoD just can't seem to make great meatloaf MRE. They just might. I think MREs again have come a long way. C-rats, I wish I would have had the opportunity to try C-rats. MREs came out like right after I joined, so or before I joined. So in boot camp we had the MREs. You think getting rid of 0351 was the right call? No, I do not. All about the infantry. Love the 51s. They were like your engineer on hand engineers, the assaultmen. They kind of knew it all. I don't. Same with snipers. Uh, Eric says, PI September 14, 1992. Graduated on December 11, 1992, platoon 2113. Eric, yes, all right. You've been around for a little while. I think my MREs had from what the jeez. Oh, Chirene. Keep it clean. If you hit the omelet with your E tool, you can hit about 100 meters. I'm telling you, here's the thing with omelet with ham, and not everybody knows that. It's an omelet, and I used to eat it like an omelet, leave it in shape because it was hard to get it out of that shape. But if you mash that, if you knead that baby up quite a bit and make it into scrambled eggs, it's even better. And the cheese on top of that, crackers, the whole bottle of Tabasco, money. Sounds good right now. I wish I could have one right now. There was a guy retired, ate a CRAT cake. They're awesome. Excuses, Carrie Ann Marie. There's only room for one in the spotlight. It's duo. There's plenty. I'll scoot over. Right, we've done duos before. Omelet was horrible. Come on, my favorite. Peanut butter in from Nam. It belongs to a World War II vet that served in there. All of it came in cans. Sea rats were all cans. Everything was. Yep, that's when the P38. If you know, you know. Favorite MRE dessert, Eric. Was that sharpening stone? I don't remember oatmeal bar. I think it was called. And I like the lemon cakes. Right, those are good. What else? Yeah, the old people. You need Chuck Norris. Like to have Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can unscramble eggs. Best chow best chow I had was at the Navy Chow Hall in Millington, Tennessee. Pound cake was good. Yes, the pound cake was good. Right? Didn't they have different flavors? Lemon pound cake, I think is my one. Or no, the poppy seed one. Poppy seed orange pound cake. Yeah, they had different P38. John Wayne. That's right. I'm stuck on prime rib today. Bob, what's happening? I would love some prime rib. All right, here we go. John McJunkin. You didn't miss anything. Oh, sorry, Major. You didn't miss anything. You write home about when you came, your C rats or K rats, except me for the beans and weenies and the brownies, which help to flavor your coffee. So what's a K rat? That the big can of the big vat of it, C rats? Because I think they still have K rats. Is that what they're called? Cookie Monster Marines love their drill and ceremony. Amen. Absolutely. Look forward to a case. Oh, that's where you got the John Waynes from, right? The P38s came only 4 John Waynes to a case of sea rats. That's interesting. That's why you got to. That's why everyone put it on their dog tag, right? Once you got a hold of one, you kept that baby. I still carry a P38 with key fob, but Emery's for the win. Semper Fi. Mark, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so we have a couple John Waynes around. You never know. Frank and Beans was my favorite. Then I went to Cadena and found out Chow was supposed to be. How about the sausage bed, the 5 fingers of death? Everyone called it. I never liked the hot dogs. Karen, how the girls doing? They good? Yes, they are. They're awesome. In fact, where are they? How come they're not on here? They're out and about. That's why I missed that. My babies went to church without me today with their friends, so I'm gonna have to watch it later. They're all doing great. Carry on. Thank you so much for asking. I stopped peanut butter from boot camp. Adam East from boot camp. My boot camp experience with the MRE was horrible. I think I did a short on it a long time ago. I didn't know. We didn't. None of us really knew. And mine happened to be dehydrated pork patty. Doc Holiday. My boots are torn. I missed the rest of it. What do you say? See that low reg? Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Read it, please. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate you, brother. Always. Awesome. It did. No, it did, but briefly, it took off. P-51. What is that? The what was I saying before that? You got me thinking about MREs. Now I'm hungry. Mm. That's what else. So my first MRE in boot camp was dehydrated pork patty. Of course, I open it and I look at it and I look at the drill instructor like, help. And so, what's the matter with you? Eat it right now. So I ate it. I ate the pork patty dry. It also came with a potato patty, which was dry. He didn't tell me to pour water on it, let it soak in, and so it's edible. So I choked that down. Then I choked the dehydrated pork patty down, and sure enough, it came with dehydrated fruit, which I choked down. That wasn't too bad. I didn't know. It's horrible. I thought this is what I got to eat for the next 4 years. I'm never going to survive off this, but I figured it out quickly. Beef stew is good. K rats were in boxes with three different kinds of sea rats inside, usually breakfast, lunch, and a dinner. All right. P-51, it's a larger P-38. Okay, so similar, looks the same. Big style, John Wayne. All right. Anyone old enough to remember BWT, the predecessor to the Crucible? BWT sounds familiar. I can't think of it right now. Eric, what is that? I know I've heard the term BWT, but yes, we all are. If you came in the 90s, people like Jerry came in. Uh, I remember basic weapons training, BWT. When they put heaters in them, change the game. JTB, I'm with you on that too. Remember we had the heat tabs, basic warrior training. Yeah, basic warrior training. And boot camp though, that was in boot camp, wasn't after boot camp, was it? MCT in 92. Is that when it started? Yeah, it sucked, but we did. But we did it because the Marine to the left and right, right of us did it. We made it. That was cool about this. We get to remember basic warrior training. And part of boot camp, right? Heat tabs, CS gas. Yeah, in boot camp. That's what I did. And even the McMap training, remember that was combat hits, they called it. The one back, two back. Bob, 50 years ago, was getting ready to go to boot camp. RFTD in boot camp, field training, RFTD. I don't remember what that stands for too. RFTD, but it sounds familiar. Randall's up there. Randall's with you, Bob. He's in that time frame. I think Randall and I think you and I are right around the same time. Can you get split screen for others to tell their stories? Great idea, Carrie Ann Marie. There's Kimi Cocoa Puffs. Hi. Yes. So once we're done traveling, Carrie Ann Marie, that's another thing that we want to do. We're going to do. We've been in transition for a year. Yeah. We're a little bit homeless. Remember, I told you last time I didn't get into detail, but June has been crazy for us with traveling, and we have stuff in storage, and we a couple different states, and we're moving around, and we're making it work. We're making it work best as we possibly can, and this is our woosah time spending with you. What's on the other side of the camera? That's what you don't want to see. 1980, Randall. 31 years ago, I was about to meet DI Sergeant Cece, JTB. 31 years? Dang, JT, you're giving my age away. Hi from Brazil. Lauro, good to see you. Doc's in. Jimmy's at work. Someone got to make this cheddar. I'm saying. That's another part of the story, which we'll share in about a month. Let's see. Recruit Field Training Detachment. Man, I don't remember it being called that. We don't know yet, Chirene. You got some space for us over there? We're looking for a place to plant our roots. So where are you moving to? Oh, he's asking where we're moving to. Fire team rushes. Hello from North Carolina. North Kakalaki. Let's go. It's been great. Y'all are so friendly. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for you guys, I'm telling you, who knows? Doing the sea bag drag. Yes, Mark. Anyway, the whole family is. So if you see us walking down the road, dragging our bags, pick us up. Come down to California, Doc. All right. AT&T, reach out and touch someone. Oh, God, you remember that on the hikes? Love the hikes. Here's a funny story about a hike. I might have told this one. We used to hike on the beach. I remember as a recruit we did like 3 hikes on the beach at Weapons Field Training Battalion, right up north Camp Pendleton. 3 hikes, a 3, a 5, and a 7 miler. It was on the beach, and then it was in the tomato patches, right? JT, you remember that? And it was on the sand, so it was pretty tough. And one time, as a as a recruit, I remember the first time we get to the beach, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the senior drone instructor stops our whole platoon. He said, "Stop." We all stopped. He said, "Face to your right." We all faced to the right. We're facing the ocean. He's like, "Take a look. Take a look. Everybody look. Look. You got 10 seconds. Look. 5, 4, 2, 1. You're done. Let's go. Move." I was like, "Sir, what do we do that for?" He's like, Some of these guys have never seen the ocean in real life." I'm like, "Ain't no way. It's the ocean. It's California. There's ocean all over the place. They've seen the ocean in real life." He stopped us again. He said, "Ears, who has never seen the ocean in real life before?" And over half the platoon raised their hands. I'm like, "Where have you been? How have you not seen the ocean?" Some of you just don't have that opportunity. So I thought that was very interesting. And then here's the funny story. That wasn't the funny one. As a drill instructor, we were doing one of them beach hikes. Hope it wasn't yours, JT. We're doing a beach hike, and I saw a camera crew was set up, get like filming all the recruits as they're walking by, and the drill instructors yelling. And it was on the way back, so we were wore out. And I was in the back. I was a green belt. Tighten it up, tighten it, AT&T. Reach out and touch someone. Tighten it up, tighten it up. And they're already tight. I was like, "Man, how can I get on camera?" Right? I know it's hard to believe, but I wanted to be on camera. So I pulled the last recruit back. I'm like, "Hey, what's the matter with you? You better keep up." He's like, "Sir, this recruit's fine." I said, "No, you're not. Get out of formation right now. Get out." I'm like, "You can do it, son. Come on, we can make it." Right as we were passing the cameras. I don't know if it ever got filmed or put on anywhere else. "All right, now get back in there." He's like, "I was fine, sir. I wasn't. This recruit was." I said, "That's what I told him. Don't quit. You better not be quitting." I was like, I'm not. What are you talking about? I just can't get any closer. I don't know what the problem is." Um, uh, Amy Buscemi, where is it? Someone said you hated the hikes. Remember, I did that one on hikes, and yes, they used to be called humps. I don't know why they changed it. Is that a politically correct thing? But I've known them as humps too. But when I did the short, it was like called them hikes because they're called conditioning hikes now, and that's to condition you for, again. So if you have to hump or hike from one place to the other, get there, and then still fight. So it really did get you conditioned. Camp Pendleton was the worst for hikes. The mountains, right? Second Battalion, Fifth Marines, we humped that ridge line so many damn times, but they condition us. They don't hump anymore. They do, JT. They just call it hike. Dylan McDaniel, Semper Fi 28, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. What's up, 28? We Good to see you, brother, and thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. 28, I got a special place in my heart for 28. Served in Afghanistan, both tours in Afghanistan. One was with Sergeant Major Fry, and we did a lot together. We were in each other's battle space quite a bit. Unfortunately, 28 lost a lot of Marines that deployment. So I was there quite a bit just to kind of help out wherever we possibly could. But 28, great organization. What's that? I can't think of their call sign right now. but it was awesome. 2A was great. He used to always feed us. He, total hospitality every time we went into his AO. The whole battalion was great. Good on you. And thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dara, what's 2H call sign? It's the Indian, right? Indian head. Do you remember what it is? Camp Geiger was flat. That's remember somebody just asked Paris Island or versus Hollywood Marines. I did a short on that too. Poking a little bit of fun at Paris Island because how bad really are the sand fleas? Are they that bad to compare that to the mountains of Camp Pendleton? Because that's Paris Island's claim to fame. We got the swamps and the sand fleas. And most of you say they were bad. Obviously, I can talk about it because I got no discipline. I'd be scratched. I'd be wore out in boot camp because I'd be swatting at them. So I don't know if I'd have made it in Paris Island. No discipline. But how bad really are they? And one of the Marines' comments was, I not only did I do boot camp there, but I was stationed on Paris Island. I don't know, like 6 years. He said, never seen a sand flea in his life. So how bad really are they? Another one said, he has PTSD from Skin So Soft, right? He wore it so much, and the smell of it just kind of drives him crazy. So I do believe they are bad. We've been there a couple of times. Been there once. Our daughter's graduation. We were there for 3 days. Didn't have any experience with them or not. Why not issue flea collars? Good one, Randy. What's up, buddy? All the recruits should be wearing flea collars. Let's get rid of the sand flea. Uh, yes, I do believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Whoever just said that, amen. God bless you. Do they still have that bulldog aftershave at boot camp? I tell you what, when I went back as a drill instructor, smelling that bulldog aftershave was that quick. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. I was like, just that smell alone. I hope they still do. I hope they do. Any tips for building stamina and endurance against heat, DXM? No, you got to get out and do it. You got to experience, you got to get acclimated. That's how you get that's how you build your stamina and your endurance against it. And hydrate, but you got to get out there and do it. I don't believe in training for misery. Like, I'm not going to go in the rain and just stand there to get used to doing stuff in the rain. Huh? Yeah, that's what he did, right? Slept. So you have to experience it to know that you can still operate once you get in it. And it's miserable. But how do you train for? I remember the first time I went to Camp Wilson, where Birdman's getting ready to go. Got off the bus, it was 135 degrees when we got off the bus. And I was like, man, we got to spend 3 months here. There's no way we're gonna die. You get acclimated. So if you can do some stuff in the heat, do it in the heat to start getting ready for it. My nephew was going into the army boot camp. Not my nephew, my cousin. Yeah, family friend, getting ready to go to the army. It's different. He was an officer and a pilot, right? And reserve. So I don't know. Army does some weird stuff. So he's like, how do I prepare? And I told him, okay, you need to come on the show and tell us how you prepared for your army training. I told him, bro, you got to stay up late, no sleep, no eat. You got to make sure you are outside in the rain, sleep on the ground, everything, any situation possible, no showers. Oh yeah, cold showers. You have to live miserably until you go. So when that stuff does happen, it'd be a piece of cake. I do this all the time. I don't know how much of it he actually did, but I was obviously messing with them quite a bit as well. again, I don't believe if you know you're going somewhere that's going to be miserable, you got to get the right mindset. Like, yes, Mount Shasta, the where's that place? Bridgeport. You know it's going to be cold. You know you're going to be sleeping in the snow. You got to make melt snow to make water just to hydrate so you stay alive. Practice it maybe once, but you don't have to live in misery prior to living in misery. It's a mental state that you have to know that you're right there. Just mentally train your mind. Says dummy crash. That's it. You're gonna mentally prepare, but don't go to the extreme. David Bryant, we arrived with 23rd MU in 82, got pushed into 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. Then after the attack, got moved back. 80, 82, that was Beirut, right? That's what y'all talking about. That was 82 was Beirut, 8th Marines, 1-8. Least favorite stateside duty station in Camp Lejeune for me. So JT, we did I was able to do, we affectionately call it the trifecta. California, Okinawa, Hawaii, California, Okinawa, Hawaii. And that's back to a message I tell you all the time, young Marines, be aggressive about your next duty station. 18 months, you're eligible to move. 36 month, right? That's your typical duty station, 3 years, but you're eligible to move after 18 months. So at your 18-month mark, start looking for a place to go, the next duty station. Find out I'm a 1371, I'm a sergeant. Find a unit that needs sergeants E5 1371s. Call your monitor. Yeah, I know 7th Engineers needs one at Camp Pendleton. Can I have those orders? So be aggressive. I was only there for school, same JTBS, just like me. I was been there many times, but just for school, seminars, briefs, stuff, but never stationed there. Camp Lejeune at the time, total shock. I didn't mind Camp Lejeune in the summer. Winter was very cold. I've been to Cherry Point, never stationed there. Always follow up with your career planner. Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive about it. Dream sheet. That's right. You have your 3 spots you fill your dream sheet where you want to go, but you're going to go where the Corps wants to send you. Answer was great, but first Smart Div, loved it. Home of the Happy Marines. Camp Hansen would I liked Camp Hansen. It's away from the flagpole, if you will. Um, spent a few years there, and that's Ninth Engineers. Yeah, it's Ninth ESB. In all the companies at Ninth ESB. I went there for the Steph and Sue Academy. Worked at the academy for 3 years. Then we got our IPCOT in place overseas consecutive tour. So we stayed another 3 years. I went to Ninth ESB as a gunny, and that's when they had a great first sergeant and sergeant major were setting me up for first sergeant. So they had me work as a company gunny in the engineers first, Alpha Company, and then they sent me to then the first after like 6 months, he pulled me, sent me to bulk fuel company. Not that I was a bulk fueler or wanted anything to do with bulk fuel, but that was just a different aspect of the Marine Corps that he wanted me to see because he was trying to set me up for first sergeant. And then I even went to H&S Company at Ninth ESB, completely different beast. That is, if those of you that ever want to be a first sergeant, you got to work in the H&S Company. That is a special beast because now you're dealing with, as the company gunny, I had to get medical and the dental hit list. I had to run PFTs for 15% of them were senior to me. Right, I was a gunny, so first sergeants, master sergeants, E8s, E9s, and then all the officers. Right, try telling a lieutenant colonel you're on the dental hit list. Take your butt over to dental right now, so you can get off my hit list. So it's definitely an interesting beast as a company gunny, but it helped me 1,000%. I appreciate the first sergeant and sergeant major. The first sergeant I had, I did all this work. And at first I thought, I was like, man, this dude don't do anything. And why do I have to do? I'm doing all these NJPs. I was learning how to do it. He was teaching me like kick me out of the nest. Said, you want to be a first sergeant? Here you go. Handle this UPB. You got some drunk Marines here. You got Marines fighting in Kinville here. Take care of all that stuff. You have a domestic dispute. You got to go out to this house and all of it. I was like, man, this dude, and he had me running PT for the company. He had me do the change of command ceremonies. I was a gunny. Like, man, this dude does nothing. But he was setting me up for success. H&HS, again, that's a different beast. James, no games, right? It's interesting. Michael this is going into the Corps. How important was it for you that you earned the title of Marine? Was becoming a Marine an important factor for you? That's everything, Michael. That is 100% earning the title of Marine. Once a Marine, always Marine. It stays ask all the Marines on here right now. That's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. Someone in the comments of one of the shorts I did also said, isn't it funny how a guy is in the Army and this person is in the Air Force? We're Marines. We're not in the Marine Corps. We're Marines. Earned, never given. Right? It's not easy. Our boot camp is the toughest. It is undisputed. How do they say it? Undisputed, toughest boot camp. But it's for a reason. Did I do that short or was I thinking about it? Is every branch of services boot camp or basic training uh, relevant to their mission? Right, like Marine Corps boot camp is the toughest because of our mission, right? Plain and simple. The Air Force boot camp, I gotta imagine it's pretty easy. Nothing against the Air Force, right? They're awesome at what they do. Does their boot camp need to be like Marine Corps boot camp? And it just doesn't. So is all the services basic training or boot camp appropriate for the mission? And I got to believe it is. I think they're set that way. Eric says, I wonder if anyone joins the Marine Corps for an MOS rather than the title of Marine. So I think there is, Eric. There's Marines that join for different reasons. Earning the title is cool, but they join to go to college, to get out of the mess that they're in back home, just for something to do. Even when I enlisted, earning that title wasn't the biggest thing on my mind. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know the difference between all the services. And I thank God still today that he did point me in that direction, but I could have easily joined any of the services. It was the Marine recruiter that he kept on me. I thought boot camp was the Marine Corps. I thought I was going to do that for 4 years. That's how little I knew about the Marine Corps and any of the branches of service. I had an uncle in the Army, real bad PTSD, so I didn't even know until halfway through Desert Storm did I know he was in the Army and that he served. I just know when I went to enlist, my dad was like, "Hell no, you ain't going." And he didn't even say why, but it was because of his brother had real bad PTSD, 2 tours at Vietnam. He was a door gunner. He didn't even come home after his first tour. He it, like he did that switch after the plane landed at wherever they landed, and they were getting off, and the other unit was getting on. He did a little U-turn, got right back on. Never rode home. He would just send his paychecks to his mother. That's the type of experience that he had, and that's what my dad saw. So my dad didn't wanted me to have nothing to do with any of that. But again, thank God things happened the way it did. Doc says, Sergeant Major, the Marine Corps asks you to write one sentence that every new recruit must read on day one. What would you write? Man, Doc, awesome. What would I write? One sentence to tell every recruit, and it's told to them by the senior drill instructor, and it's never quit or give up. We cannot train you and help you become a United States Marine unless you're willing to give your very best. It's like a comma in the rest of the sentence, but that's bottom line. Never quit or give up. It's tough. I thought about quitting many times. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm just able to admit it in front of everybody. I wanted to quit many, many times. And if it wasn't to my ego and everything else, I ain't no quitter. But I have to think that's the number one Never quit or give up. We cannot train you to be a United States Marine unless you're willing to give your very best. So, is everyone going to be the top PFT or the top shooter, the swim qual? You're going to ace everything? Nope. But as long as you never quit or give up, I gladly PT the hell out of a kid that fails the PFT as long as he's given his very best. His best isn't going to be what I want it to be, but it will be one day. So you never quit or give up. Great question, Doc. Looking back, was there a specific moment, perhaps quiet? Oh man, say it again because the producer just stepped out. Doc, I would love to read that. James says, when I was a parasailing, there was a poster in the child that said, all we ask for is everything you got, and we'll let you know when you've given it. Right? You know what I mean? Pro, pro drill instructor, obviously, because I was, but they will get you to where you need to go. Even in the infantry, I used to tell Marines, I want to be a machine gunner, but I'm not very good. I don't care how good you are with the machine gun. If you have the right attitude and you'll never quit or give up, we'll make you a machine gunner. That feels good. What's Marine officer sword called? The Marine officer sword is the Mameluke sword, Marmaduke sword, the Mameluke sword. Were you testing me, Michael, or you just really wanted to know? Marines live off of Crayola, red crayons. All right, here we go, Doc. Looking back, was there a specific moment, perhaps quiet or unnoticed by others, that shaped your philosophy as a leader more than any award, promotion, or deployment ever could? Yes, and that was when I was a drill instructor, Doc. Um, I was your typical green belt, right? Once I put that cover on my head, that smoky, and put that green belt, I was everything. I was on top of the world. You couldn't tell me anything. I was gonna destroy recruits, right? I was gonna be the nastiest, meanest drill instructor down there until I hurt a recruit. Because that was it's every green. I don't want to say everyone, but that was our goal in Bravo Company at that time, was to be the meanest, nastiest green belt. And I went with Sergeant Bryant. We went to school together, and we ended up getting the same company and the same platoon. So I was like, crap. And he was, I'm telling you, Sergeant Bryant was a beast, loud. God, he was so loud, so much louder than me. So I had to compensate somehow, right? So I was just going to be meaner and nastier. And it was my first time on duty by myself up north. We call it God's country because everyone leaves you alone, right? Are you with the duty drill instructor sleeping in the field, in the tents? And my senior, I've told this story before, so bear with me, those of you who heard it. The senior drill instructor said before he left, because they all leave, they all get in one truck, they're piled in the back of this safety vehicle, and they're gone. You just see a puff of smoke as the vehicle takes off. Now I'm in charge. My first time on lights by myself. Senior drill instructor says, kill him. Aye, senior drill instructor. So as soon as they all leave, I put him in the rack. I tell the guide, let me know when you see no lights on main side. None, no lights whatsoever, no vehicles, nothing. Sure enough, he's like, all right, that's it. Everyone's gone. I got him up, took him to the cradle, got him dressed. They're out in the rack. And I was a hooch monster. This was the old shelter halves, right? With the wood tent pegs. I destroyed all their tents. I was stepping on them, just wow, just thrashed the entire platoon. I got them up, got weapons, and we went on a little hike. This was after lights out. Right? That's how dumb I was. After lights out, thrashing them, sweating, they're dropping all over the place. And I just had this that mother strength. I could lift a car up. That's how that's the just I was because I was a little nervous too. Like, oh man, are these guys gonna are they gonna do what I say? There's 89 of them. They could destroy me if they wanted to. But I was we had this little the cradle, call it was just a hill that kicked your butt doing it one time. We must have done it 30 times. And I wasn't even tired. And this one kid fell out and he was laying, oh, my ankle is being a punk. And we get to the other side, we turn around, let's do it again. Oh, we got to pick him up. Look at him. He fell out. And the guy had told me, sir, he's faking it. Sir, he's faking it. So one time on the bottom, I said, oh, really? Your ankle hurts? And I may have stepped on his ankle a little bit, right? Crazy. So, and then we finish. I get him back. I felt I thrashed him enough. And the next morning, he's dragging his leg as we're going to chow. And then the company commander of all people is the first Marine that sees him. It's like, hey, son, what happened to you? Why, why does it look like you're injured? I said, oh, sorry, last night when the recruits were, drill instructor Sergeant Cece was rocking the cradle with this recruit, I fell, hurt my ankle. So then the company commander calls my senior drill instructor and says, hey, what is your drill instructor doing? How did this recruit get injured after lights out? And the senior calls me over, and now I'm standing there reporting to the company commander in front of God and everybody. The entire series was eating breakfast, and he started chewing my butt. And the senior didn't have my back at all. He's like, "Oh, I told him to BDR, put him in the rack." And the company commander's like, "So what did you do?" I got him up and we went on a little hike. It's like, "What in the world would you do that for?" I said, "Well, they needed discipline, a catch-all answer. I was disciplining them, sir. They needed more discipline." And he went off because as a corpsman's now looking at this kid's leg, who his ankle might be broken, and he's like, I'm trying to make Marines and you're trying to break recruits. What training value did that have? Huh. It didn't have any training value. It was to make, I was, thought I was God and I could do whatever I want. It's such an eye opener to me that was that transition from just being a Marine to being a leader. What training value did it have? How was I trying to make those recruits into Marines by doing this? It just had a full day of activities and it was time to get some sleep, right? That was a should have just been following the training schedule. Well, it wasn't done. Wasn't done. He took my belt and cover, which is being fired on DI duty, took my belt and cover and said, go home. That same 3 mile drive to get to where we were, I walked it thinking, God, what am I doing? What was I thinking? I had no training value to it. That stuck in my mind from that day for the rest of my career. What training value? So I did go to a teachable moment. I did go to NJP, right? Maybe the first time I'm telling this. Sergeant Major Truscott was there, big giant. Yeah, maybe I should name names. Battalion Sergeant Major called me and said, "Hey, Colonel wants to talk to you." Colonel, remember he was a major at one time. He's Colonel, another big dude. So I report in and he tells me the same thing. What were you thinking? We're trying to make Marines. You're trying to break recruits. That cover, maybe you don't deserve that cover. That Smoky Bear, that's for Marines trying to make Marines. I mean, he was going off. Man, I was a sergeant, a position of attention. I was sweating, thinking I'm done. I'll never be able to do what I love for the rest of my life. Man, I blew the opportunity of a lifetime. And the colonel's like, Sergeant Major, what do you think? Sir, Sergeant CZ's done this, he's done this, went clean on the rifle range. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he got the best recruits, and they were company honor platoon, took first in drill, started naming all my accolades. And the colonel's like, yeah, but he broke a recruit. He's like, yeah, sir, give me some time with him. I got him, I got him, I got him. So Sergeant Major saved me. And I think now learning later as a sergeant major, there's a little bit of theatrics to all that to scare the hell out of me. And it worked. And then what the sergeant major told me though, after we left, he's like, hey, don't drop your pack, don't do anything different, just be smarter. Know the training value before you do whatever you're thinking about doing. Like, and one, yeah, the senior left me, hung me out to dry. And I won't mention his name, but nothing. He said, sir, I told him, no, you told me to kill him, and and I did almost. So a learning lesson in my career that I think has as because I went home. I was at home before you don't call them, they call you. And this was before cell phones. So I sat in front of that big dial phone with the cord on it, just waiting to be called. Am I, do I have a job or not? Right? What's going to happen next? And it was like 3 days. I don't remember, JT, what cycle it was. I think it was after the first one. What you were 11? Um, I think it was my first one, my very first cycle. Again, still green, or top company and rifle range. And was he going to do in a combat role? He has a core gun soft. So not that it matters, but this particular recruit was soft. He was weak. He was always on light duty, right? He's one of those always has to. Oh, yeah, maybe not. Do you know about putting the senior drill instructor earmuffs? Um, yeah, yeah. Never forget the recruit that died at Paris Island back in the 50s because the guy went on his own program. Now he's talking about the Ribbon Creek incident, right? There's a couple of recruits that died. Stutzman Clark was my kill hat, would get us out of the rack for discipline. Remember the SDI from another company coming to our squad bay and telling us to get in the rack and privately have words with the junior DI. So that does happen quite a bit down there. DIs do look out for each other. I remember one time I was going off on a recruit and I got like that tunnel vision. I mean, and he was I had him doing the dying cockroach, and I was like, it was intense. I don't even remember what he did. So intense, I got a bloody nose, right? And I was like a freaking animal. I saw the blood like hit my arm. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought it was him. I didn't even know that I had a bloody nose, and all of a sudden I feel another drone instructor like came and like tackled me. And we didn't hit the ground, but he like pulled me in the duty hat, like, hey, bro, relax for a minute. Getting pretty intense. So DIs do take care of each other. Um, couple couple incidences like that. And a story about Sergeant Newton wanted us to go to the phone bank. I got a lot of heat off that, JT. I got a lot of heat from that. The senior drone instructor told me to take the recruits to the phone center. He's like, I'm out. You got them. Recruits, great job today. Drone instructor, take them to the phone center. Um, all right. I senior drill instructor. Recruits were all happy. They're like, "Woo, we get to go to the phone center." So about an hour later, we did BDR, whatever cleanup, and it mapped it into what we're doing for the before or during free time. So I got them outside, and again, they were moving the fastest they ever moved. Got in formation, got outside, got ready, marched them to the phone center. Eyeballs, click, sir, loudest they've ever been. There it is, right there. Phone center. They're like, yes, sir. I'm like, lock it up. Like, lock it up. Drill. Forward. March. March right back to the house. Senior drone instructor said, take them to the phone center. He didn't say allow them to make phone calls. I did exactly what he told me to do. Yeah, he was pissed. So when we get back the next morning, we get back, he hit the rack the next morning. The senior, look at TV. The senior's like, "Hey, recruits, how you doing? You got a phone call last night, right?" They're like, "No, sir. No, sir. He took us and took us right back. Not a single recruit benefit. They totally dimed me out." GT is probably one of them. No loyalty. So he was pissed. I got a little butt chewing from him. He said, "Look, bro, it got you, but that the schedule. I don't have time to take him because he was on duty the next day. He didn't want to take him to a phone center because that's a pain in the butt. Taking 89 recruits and there's probably 40 phones and it takes a while and whatever. So he was mad because he had to do it. But as a senior drone instructor, um, yes, he did, JT. I'll tell that story too. I was pissed. That's not a green belt job. Because that's a huge benefit, right? And a lot of people in the comments, we didn't make no phone call. Ain't no phone center. The phone center has always been there. Just maybe you didn't get to go. But recruits made phone calls throughout boot camp. But that's not something that a green belt, the thrash hat, should take the recruits to do, because then they're going to associate that. Sergeant Cece's so great. He's the best drone instructor. He lets us make phone calls. No, that's a senior drone instructor job. And I learned as a senior, I would never make my green belts do something like that, something that the recruits would like them for. So he should have never set me up like that anyway. But during that cycle, I had to do, you still got to do your annual training. Drone instructors have to do your annual training. See, and so Newton didn't even take you all, because I'm telling you, it's not fun to take you to a phone center. So he, I was on the rifle range as a shooter. I still had to do my annual qual. All drone instructors do swim qual and rifle range. Your BFT, you got to do all that stuff while you're a drone instructor. And it happened to fall right in line with, I think we were in third phase by then. So a couple hours every morning, just like a regular rifle range, I was gone. And qual day, the senior Sergeant Newton obviously told the whole platoon that, hey, drill instructor Sergeant Cece is going to qual today, so make sure you tell him good luck, shooter. So as I'm leaving, I got my thing and my data book and my eye patch, and I'm ready, my flak safety. I'm walking, looking like a recruit, soft cover, right? Looking like a recruit anyway. And I'm walking out the hatch, and the fire watch says, attention on deck. They call it when you leave or to come back. And they all said, attention on deck. I was like, shut your mouth. They're like, good luck, shooter. To me as a drill instructor, these recruits call me shooter. Man, I was so pissed. Wanted to come back and they're lucky I had to be at the rifle range, or I would have stayed there and thrashed every single one of them. Hopefully I did when I got back. I don't remember now. But that was something, I mean, you got in my head. I think it's still fired expert. Yes, JT, I owe you for that. Got one phone call during third phase. Again, phone calls were, as a drone instructor, I would bugle sticks. If they knock some dude's head off, phone call. They draw blood during boxing, give them a phone call. If they do something extraordinary as a senior, I would give them a phone call, because there's a payphone on the bottom deck of all the barracks. I don't think they are anymore, because now I think the drone instructors let them use their cell phone or something. I don't know, something crazy. But and I remember as a recruit, my senior, he had a little 3x5 card. This recruit has permission to make a phone call. Because anytime as a drone instructor, I'd see a recruit on the phone, I'd go, what the hell are you doing? Let me see your pass. You making a UA phone call. So my senior at the time would give us that, and I kept it, right? Try to use it more than once. Brandon says, remember Pendleton in boot camp, RFTD, junior hat made us eat MREs by the numbers, one ingredient at a time, salt, coffee grounds, all but the treat. A recruit cut his throat on a cracker. Dang, you have a blue phones. Thanks, Carrie Ann. They get to have cell phones? No, not yet. Jim Botcher, that's been in the works, so I did a short on that. The Army did go to it. I think they get their phone a couple hours on the weekends or Saturday or something. 17, do they really? Oh, in the Army they do. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They get their cell phones. Um, and they've been tossing around the idea, should the Marines follow right there, Army does, says Randall, and the Milliot. And some of I did a short on it, and I got some. Here's my thought: absolutely not, no way, and no way, no how. But some people are trying to make excuses like, well, what about people got to have to do banking online, and if they have a kid, and all those things are true, and they do have to take care of stuff like that. That's stuff you prepare for before you even go. Again, you know the rules prior to going. Why would you try to change them once you get there? It's 3 months. I would love to go 3 months without a cell phone. It's a blessing in disguise. and you got to concentrate on becoming a Marine. So the last thing you need to do is be in touch with the outside world while you're there for 3 months. So I pray to God they never allow cell phones in Marine Corps boot camp. Absolutely not. Keep it traditional. It's boot camp, right? You get it. You guys get it. But I'm telling you, there's somebody out there thinking, well, maybe it's a good idea if they have a young child or, again, banking online. No. Mm-mm. Nope. I graduated July 19th this year. Think what we did. Didn't get our phones. I hope they don't do that. Me too, James, and congratulations. Awesome. Bet they will. I think so too. Will be the last ones. I don't even know about the other services if they do, but they shouldn't. Some things we should not. I told you earlier in the show, I was like, change is good if it's for a good reason, though. What would be the reason? Why? Yeah, we don't have a problem with still don't have a problem with recruiting, so it's unnecessary. I'm with you. No way, no way, no how. McJunkin was a Navajo code talker. Smoke signals. They didn't even have phones when old Dryeen went through. Had to do that ding 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 ding. Billy Glass says, I've seen the Army having their cell phones at boot camp. I'm in the Air Force, and we didn't even get our cell phones as often as the Army does now. But you did get them in the Air Force. You got your cell phones. Can't even picture how that would even happen. You go to boot camp, they take everything from you, everything. So I'm guessing they take everything except your cell phone. They put them in a box, or they have a shoe bag on the wall. And sir, this recruit needs his phone. I don't get it. Karen Marie Potts says, my cousin is in the Army. He wasn't allowed his phone in training, but does the rest of the time. Yeah, after boot camp, go for it. Uh, Smoke signals. So Major, every recruit is told if you do have trouble at home with whatever, you bring it to the DIs, and if it's serious or not, usually wasn't, at least according to them. So um, the DI gets notified if there is a problem at home, if there's a death in the family, serious illness, car accident, something that you need to know about. Yes, your drill instructor will get notified, and you will get notified. And if it needs to, you need to make a phone call. Absolutely. Yeah, we're still human, but your every day you need to check your TikTok and all your other stuff. 3 months, go without. All my sons call me with their phones. So what the hell? They're all Army. J Dill, timeout cards. Remember that phase when we went through timeout cards? I think just like one cycle, one platoon of one cycle, probably second battalion because they're the softest. I think it was they did one cycle of trying the timeout card. Like if the recruit was feeling too stressed out, they pull out a card, said it's in my timeout. It didn't last, thank God. Jay Dilly, Army and Air Force, they called you from boot camp on their cell phones. Yeah, again, I don't think it's necessary. James says, I met Marines that said they snuck a cell phone in boot camp. No, I don't know how they did that. I don't know. I mean, there's probably only one place you could hide it going in. I don't. That's a Red Cross message for sure. Yes. My time we send a letter. That's what we all did. You get one phone call for sure. And that's when you first get there, right? We have USMC CCs, we have it recorded. And you read that little script. It's on the wall. You make the call. Good evening. I made it to recruit training. I'm safe. Don't send me any crap. I'll talk to you in 3 months. I love you. Bye. While the drill instructors are yelling at you, you got to read that script, whether somebody answers or not. I'll throw away a card. The price would be incredible. Yeah. Where the sun don't shine, don't know. People call. Don't forget the merch. Thanks, Carrie Emery. Merch is still on hold right now. Stickers. Yeah, Everything's in stores. Everything's boxed up. Look, you see the closet I'm in right now. So don't forget the merch when we're, yes, maybe about a month, couple weeks. All right, a month. 3 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll be back at it. So right now, we just want your love and support. But thank you, Carrie Ann Marie, for bringing that up. We used carrier pigeons after we met at Ton Tavern. Around. Are you still active? Gunny, real soldier. I'm retired if you're referring to me. Retired and not a gunny. Doc, I remember when our fam sent my son a care package full of candy. Oh, he got smoked. Yeah. Yeah, she was in Army basic training. She went to, yeah, another family friend of ours. She went to Army training. Army training, sir. We sent her a care package and we loaded the outside of the box with Marine stickers and you write about the instructors. Your instructor's still soft and weak and tell them we said hi. Just some, yes. Timeout card, seriously, whatever happened, that didn't work. It didn't work. Did they take that away? Recruit video game system. They tried it. A timeout card. Um, and even remember the go back, right? That one Steve told us, get back something. If a recruit's been thrashed like more than 3 times in one day, he has a get back where like you got to get him tomorrow or something. And it was with their name tag. Go back. Yeah, if they did something wrong. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. It was a go back. It was a go back. You can only do two go backs or something. So if you did something wrong, like you saluted wrong, do it again. No, did it wrong again. Do it again. That was it. You can only have them redo it 2 times. And if you still mess it up the third time, I'll get it next time. That didn't last either. I made it to boot camp call, and oddly enough, when my platoon took range, senior gave us a quick call as a reward. Must have been range because we were at Pendleton. So again, as a senior, I would try to work in a phone call just for motivation. Did you ever hear? Did you ever have to deal with a waddy? Doc, so funny you asked that because I had never heard that term until what was I watching? Oh yeah, Pat McAfee. The Pat McAfee show is he's if you ever watch his show on not on ESPN, he was a kicker and now he does a great show. And I've seen it many times, but not many times. I like in the gym, so with no volume. But for some reason, it showed up in my feed. Pat McAfee visited Paris Island, and he did a show on it. And he described boot camp as a civilian, as an athlete, as a professional athlete, and he's a um, not YouTuber, podcast kind of guy. He has a show, a great show. But he described boot camp like to a T from a civilian standpoint. And he's a celebrity, so they gave him probably they went all out and gave him a great tour. But he was talking about the Wadi, week A drill instructor. That term wasn't around when I was a drill instructor. I had never heard of it until I watched the Pat McAfee show, 2008. Um, so Doc's question is, yep, he has a good, so it talks about Marines for 20 minutes straight. Yeah, yeah, I mean, look that one up where he visited Paris Island. Um, but he talked about the Wadi, and that's a weak, can I say ass on here? Sure. Weak ass drone instructor. That's a nickname that they have for the weak drone instructors. So to answer your question, yes, I've had some weak drone instructors. But we just never called it Wadi before. That's interesting. What's up, Menachem? All right, good to see you. Where you been? PTN? Getting ready to be a young Army lieutenant soon. I had one drill instructor. I was I was the J as a sergeant. My senior was a staff sergeant. So I was the I was the they call it the J in San Diego. Anyway, Paris Island, I think they call it the heavy or something. So you got your senior drill instructor and then the J, the junior drill instructor, but you're like the senior junior drill instructor, if that makes sense. So the senior, then the J, and then all the other drill instructors. And the J teaches drill, works the schedule. He makes the senior look good. He does everything, all the paperwork. The J does everything because you're getting ready to be a senior drill instructor. So you definitely you work your way up from the kill hat to the prac hat to the J to the senior. So in 4 cycles, you should be a senior depending on numbers and your performance and what have you. But there's only 6 companies, 6 platoons per company, so not everybody's going to be a senior. Anyway, so I was the J, and since my senior was a staff sergeant, we had other green belt staff sergeants. But I was the J, and it means something down there to be the J. We even had a gunny check-in, new drill instructor. He was a gunnery sergeant. He was on our team because we had the only staff sergeant senior. So weird configuration, and I hope you're following. So I'm the J, and this guy was he was a marksmanship instructor. He had all those awards for marksmanship, great shooter, and he was a coach like half his career and knew everything there was to know about marksmanship. So we're like, oh, great, man, this guy, we're gonna go clean on the range every time, and he's gonna get our whole. So anyhow, he wasn't. He was a gunny, so he's a little older and PMI. Thank you, Randall. Yeah, he was a PMI. So E7DI is insane. I'm telling you. So he had not done a B billet, and he was trying to get promoted, kind of thing. So it wasn't the most fired up drill instructor we had. And we knew that going in. But we'll take care of him. We'll cover him. Until this one time, I had him. We're up north, snap in time, and I say, hey, once you talk to them, talk to the platoon first, and give them your PMI experience. Man, you got all this life experience as a primary marksmanship instructor. Do it up and get our recruits ready so we go clean on the range. So we'll look like heroes. And I go in the house, do something, probably get something to drink, and he's talking to them. And I mean, I'm chilling. I'm taking a break. The PMI's got him. And we're on like the second deck or something. I remember walking to the window, looking out, see how it's going because they're still, and I don't hear anything. And I'm like, what's going on? I look out the window and they're sitting in a school circle. He's got his little PMI chair. He changed his cover from the smoky to the pith cover, the safari hat, right? And the recruits are chilling. They're like leaning on the grill, like playing in the grass and talking to each other. And he's carrying on about something, side alignment and side picture. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on? Is party time? And we're up north. This is God's country. I want to do the PMI stuff. So then I'm a sergeant. He's a gunnery sergeant, but I'm the J. I'm like, I yell out the window, drill instructor, you got a phone call. Hurry up, it's urgent. She's like, oh, I'll be right back, man. And then, of course, I said, hey, hang on the duty up for a while. Take a break. I got him and thrashed the hell out of him, took him to the snapping circles and just, rah, I mean, I freaked out. And then I go back and I'm like, guys, bro, there's still recruits. I know you're a PMI. I just thought you maybe 3 or 4 minutes on your instructor stuff, but that's it. You're still a drill instructor, not a PMI anymore. So had I known the Wadi term back then, I maybe would have labeled him a Wadi for sure. Man, oh, the rug. Menachem got accepted to the Army Chief of Chaplains, and I just filled my coffee. Still a little left in there. Congratulations, Manakam. That's awesome. Awesome, bro. Very proud of you, and congratulations. We can't wait to see you in action. Um, get after it, man. And we want to know more about it. There are very few that the chaplain corps has got to be small, even in the Army. So congratulations, nice work. Keep getting after it and enlighten us all. Marines, we have Navy chaplains, so we know a little bit about them. But that's awesome, and I know you've been working at it for a very long time. Should I put something on it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, luckily it's time to change. Whoever owns this place is gonna be upset. And how did moments like that capture the spirit of the Corps in you? Doc, again, when it comes time for tune photos, so the chain of command for drill instructors is a little, that's where time of grade does matter. At another drill instructor, I was a sergeant the entire time, but I did make it to senior drill instructor. So there was every night the duty senior, right, would be the one to pass the word to all the other drill instructors. And it was tricky as a senior, as a sergeant, and I was a senior drill instructor, because everyone else in the company was a staff sergeant or a gunny as the senior drill instructor. So we got a gunny, and this dude was fired up. He was good. He was a good drill instructor. He was motivated. He was a gunny, also E7, but he was on fire as a drill instructor. He wanted to be down there. So he was all that, but he was new, brand new, and he was a green belt still from another platoon. In fact, his sister Sirius. So he was on the other side of the barracks, and I was the duty senior as a sergeant, and I called them all. Right, this was before messages and text and all that. So I called each house, and everyone knew 1900 when the recruits are on free time. That's when we did the meeting for all the duty hats. So all six drill instructors would all meet in the duty seniors duty hut and just talk about whatever the series guns, first sergeant, just pass word. About 5 minutes, real quick. But we all met. All right, break. This is what we're doing tomorrow. You guys are at the pool in the morning. We're at the O course, and then we swap. Whatever the training schedule says. Any questions? Nope. Hurrah. So as I'm calling all the drill instructors, hey, 1930, meet in my house. This gunnery sergeant said, hey, Devil Dog, since I'm the senior guy, we're going to do the meeting in my house. And I'm like, uh, hmm, gunnery sergeant, it's not how it works. He said, yes, it does, sergeant. I'm the senior. I'm a gunnery sergeant. We're doing the meeting in my house. I was like, man, do I disrespect a gunny? I no, because I'm a Marine. I'm a sergeant. He outranks me clearly, but I'm a senior drill instructor and I'm the duty senior drill instructor for the night. So very tactfully, I said, gunnery sergeant, 1930 in my house if you want the word for tomorrow. If not, you're on your own. So he didn't come. He didn't come to the meeting. And I passed word to the drill instructors that everyone else showed up, of course, and we talk about the next day. Everything's cool until the next morning. The first sergeant comes to my duty hut, company first sergeant, said, "Hey, get to my office." Crap, it's got to be about last night. So I walk in the first sergeant's office before him, and I go over and stand in front of his desk, and I'm at parade rest, and I see out of the corner of my eye that gunnery sergeant sitting on the first sergeant's couch, like chilling, like, mm-hmm. Yep. See what happens, Sergeant? He didn't say anything. I was like, crap. So as soon as the first sergeant walks in and sits behind his desk, I come to attention. Morning, first sergeant, drill instructor, Sergeant Cece reporting his order. He says, stand east, stand east. He's like, he looks around me and says, hey, guns. You see this Marine standing here? He's like, yep, yes, First Sergeant. He's like, you see the color of his belt? He's like, oh, he's like, yes, yes, First Sergeant, it's a black belt. He's a senior drill instructor. What color is your belt? He's like, well, green, First Sergeant. He's still trying to kind of play it off. He said, he's a black belt, you're a green belt. When he's on duty, he's in charge. There'll be no disrespect. Either way, he'll respect you as a gunnery sergeant, but you will respect him as a senior drill instructor. I was like, oh, all right. So it really does work like that. I never took advantage of it, and it would never disrespect him or anything, but it's different on the depot. It's different as drill instructors, and it works. It clearly works because you can't always. It's not always an ideal situation. He's a gunny. He should have had all gunnies working with him. I'm a sergeant. I should have always had sergeants working for me. Just the Marines get promoted down there. They come and go. It's can be chaos, but as long as it's controlled and a very good understanding, I shook his hand. Thanks, Gunner Sergeant. Sorry about last night. Let's train some recruits. Menachem said they still need to sign some papers. Then I'll receive orders to whichever reserve unit I'm assigned to. Then the unit will send me to training when they choose. Well, good luck. Where do you fill out a dream sheet? Where do you want to go? Yeah, where would you like to go if you had your decision? If it was up to you, where would you want to go? Interesting. Again, congratulations, Menachem. It's been fun watching you kind of grow into that position. Can't wait to hear some stories. Right there, look at old Jaireen says, God bless, and somewhere on the East Coast. All right. Reserve units are all over the place too. I know Marines are, so you know the Army has some crazy duty stations. David Bryant, good night to you, brother. Thank you for hanging out. Always huge supporter. Well, appreciate you. Fort Dix or something. All right. Eric S. says that Gunny was silently plotting his revenge for the rest of his career. We got along. I don't remember any other incident after that. I was worried too because him and the first sergeant were buddies from way back too. So I thought again, I'm toast again on the drill field. Peyton, thanks for hanging out. Not too much politics here. Will Marsoc survive, Eric? I think so. Marsoc was getting hot and heavy as I was retiring. So I don't know enough about Marsoc to Marsoc will survive because the SEALs need someone to look up to. That came from the producer. SEAL School at Fort Dix, New Jersey. All right. Right from Canada, eh? Maxim, good to see you. Loki reporting from the head at a wedding. I'll check in soon. Thanks for not going. Way to check in. You better get back out there. Oh, good. Connor's back. John McJunkin said, I think I remember they just crumpled my dream sheet in boot camp, then placed it in their paper shredder for good measure. Wonder how those dream sheets work, really. Was it a chisel? You filled out your and then they broke the slate that you wrote your dream sheet on, McJunkin? Martez, thank you. Thank you all for all that you do. Appreciate you. Randall, maybe. I don't think so though. Doc, all right. Real question, Marine. When is producer finally going to make an appearance? We know there's the real one running the show behind the scenes. You know for a fact, right? And I won't quote her directly, but I just show up and hang out with you guys. I got the easy job. She does all the work, 100%. And it's makes them for some interesting conversation. It's usually right before a show. But with your help, we always pull it off somehow, some way. The needs of the show is what she said, Randall. Yes. Yeah. In this particular studio, there isn't enough room for us. I'm telling you. You don't know what that thing is covering up back there. Just kidding. We can do movie quotes. Ah, yeah, she is good at the movie quotes. The ma'am running ops, you know it's true, right? And it show up. She tells me when and where, and I do what I'm told. Randall Knapp, strangest moment in I had in boot camp. God, I can't wait to hear this. I was getting a haircut in third phase. TGE company first sergeant DI sat in the chair next to me. Asked why I joined the Corps. As calm as he could, he joined in 1966. Wow, a recruit talking to first sergeant. I don't remember what TGE company is. Oh, the company first sergeant. I was like, companies at Randall's got some great acronyms here. The company first sergeant sat in the chair and asked me, wow. Remember as 66. How much you bench, bro? Alexander, I'd bench all of it. The interrogation blanket, right? Yes, you know it is. Russ Armator, what advice do you have for a young staff NCO? Jacob Cross. Great question. And we're going to start landing this helicopter right after that. Advice for a young staff NCO. As easy and simple as this sounds, you get treated so different as a staff NCO. And I know I'm sure the other services as well. I know in the Navy that the E6 is kind of a weird billet. You're the first class. You're not a chief, but you're no longer E5 and below. The Marine Corps is different. E6 and above, you're all staff NCOs, but you're in the staff NCO Corps. So right off the bat, brother, you're expected to know way more than you did as a sergeant. But now you're being held accountable differently than you were as a sergeant. Sergeant was great because you can still make mistakes, right? Just an NCO, right? When it's something bad, but you're a staff NCO now. Staff NCOs, staff and officers, right? So you're at a much higher level, and it's weird because it happens instantly, just like that. That's why I believe in the system of hopefully you're being moved to a different chain of command because everyone knows you as a sergeant. So you should go somewhere fresh, get frocked if you're not ready for promotion, and then show up as a staff sergeant. So that unit never knows you, never knew you as a sergeant. So here's my advice to you: whatever your MOS is, if you again, you have already been trained for this day to become a staff NCO, and as a sergeant, you should already have been learning those things. Just be prepared. But at the end of the day, and the number one piece of advice, and I wish more people would practice it, if you don't know something, say you don't know. Don't try to fake it. Marines will see right through that. See right through that. And I think I've told this story many times. When I went back to the infantry as a sergeant major, I had been out of the infantry for 18 months with the Air Wing of all places. Then I went back to the infantry. I went to the Army, got all my gear issued. PEC 2, RCO, some stuff I had never seen before. And as the armor was giving it to me, they said, all right, a PEC 2 right there. Can I get the serial number off that? I was like, crap. Not only do I not know where the serial number is, I don't know what a PEC 2 is. So instead of trying to sergeant major, though, of an infantry battalion, I got to know everything. But I didn't. And it was a split second in my mind. I was like, let me just grab one of these things. Nope. Hey, come here, Marine. First Marine I saw. "Eh, what's the PEC 2? Happened to be a PFC, fresh out of school, fresh out of SOI. It's like, oh, Sergeant Major, it's this one right here. Serial number's right under here. And he flipped it over and that's your RC. And he gave me a quick class. But I felt kind of dumb, but I think I gained a lot of respect from that kid right off the bat. And he felt better. I didn't embarrass myself by anyway, as a newly promoted soon staff NCO, again, learn as much as you can, but also hold yourself accountable. If you don't know something, say you don't know it and then learn it. Never feel stupid. Ever. A recruiter gave me a 6-year contract, says Eric, called the Quality Enlistment QEP. Got to pick first duty station, East Coast, West Coast, overseas. Your MOS, E2 grade, E3, 9 months later. All right. Star Major from Doc Holiday. And then I'm landing this helicopter. Got to clean up that coffee. Here's one for the next live. Not easy, but real. If you had to strip away the rank, the ribbons, the titles, and look at the man underneath it all, is there more to it? Here's one question for the next live. Not easy, but real. If you had to strip away the rank, the ribbons, and the title, and look at the man underneath it all. Oh, what moment in your Marine Corps career truly defined you who you are today? Not as a Marine, but as a man. All right. All right, I'm saving it for next time. The wheels are turning. I see a smoke coming out of my ears. I'm gonna have an answer for you, and that's good, Doc. That's good. And here I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'd like to hear from you as well. That's huge. You can once a Marine, always a Marine. You can take a man out of the Corps, but you can't take the Corps out of the man. All those things I think are 100% true, and I think it does. It has carried me after the Corps. Right, the Corps still is going to be fine. Go on without me, with anyone that you get out. But there's some lessons that you've learned along the way. Life lessons. Very cool. Thanks, Doc. Randall, Miles, all you guys, John McJunkin. Awesome. You guys are truly a a blessing to us. Appreciate your support, your love, your motivation. This is awesome. We will be back Wednesday, maybe in the same spot. We don't know. Again, if you see us doing the sea bag drag down the road, pick us up. Make sure you have some room for us. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Happy Sunday. God bless you all. Love you. Semper Fi. Era. Well, Semper Fi, my friend. Era. That was a close one. Era.